Hi there, I am Unicorn, and today I have a book review for Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. This is an autobiography fiction by Jeanette Winterson. However, it's very hard to remember it's a fictionalized novel because the main protagonist was also called Jeanette. Jeanette grew up with her extremely religious and strict mother, so the right or wrong in their family was very straightforward. For example, they only eat oranges as fruit because in her mother's opinion, oranges are the only fruit. So this is a story about how Jeanette discovered that there are more fruits in the world and more things people can believe in, and more importantly, it's okay for people to eat other fruits and believe in other things. The book focuses on a lot about her relationship with her mother. Her mother used to be the eye that Jeanette sees the world, and sometimes they see things in the same way. But with her growing up, more often they have different opinions. But her mother was the person that she trusted and loved the most. So the fact that Jeanette discovered her sexual identity, which is she was interested in women, not men, caused the biggest peak of her and her mother and also the community's conflict. But also this event made her saw that my mother painted the white roses red, and now she claimed that they grew that way. I think this statement really showed the complexity between her and her mom and how she started to think in a different way. In my opinion, this book really reflected Jeanette Winterson's observation of others. You got a lot of side characters. They seem to have a normal and happy life. They fit in, they loved and they beloved. They have a devout believing system. However, you got a sadness throughout the whole book. Once a character in the book said, "When I married, I loved for a week, cried for a month, and settled down for life." This settle down thing and the social norm seems like a thing that everybody needs to do in order to survive in their community. However, it's also the thing that Jeanette challenged by her own behavior. While this book shows you the sorrow of being unacceptable, it's also very humorous in many ways. So I think it's a very fascinating thing to read about. Once she described a person who does not accept others' ideas. If there was an elephant in the supermarket, she'd either not to see it at all or call it Mrs. Jones and talk about fish cake. But most likely, she'd do what most people do when confronted with something they don't understand, panic. This was the first time that I connected with the book personally, and also it's the first time I realized the way that this book addresses its point is very interesting. To be honest, at the beginning of the book, it's very hard for me to get into the book, especially when they talk about the topic that dealt a lot with their religion, because I'm not religious at all, so I'm not familiar with a lot of the concept in this book. So it's very easy for me to get lost and also get confused when reading the book. However, after I read about the elephant in the supermarket, it kind of changed my vision of reading this book. I realized that I shouldn't expect if there is or if there were not any elephant in the supermarket. I just need to notice it if there was one. But with that being said, although I continue reading with this new kind of developed vision of reading this book, I still got lost sometimes when reading the fantasy stories throughout this book. There are many little fantasy stories in between each chapter, and it's kind of reflected Jeanette's thoughts in the real life. They are peculiar, they are strange, and they distracted me a lot. And moreover, sometimes I need to go back to the previous chapter to see where I left in the main story in order to continue reading. Other than that, I enjoyed the story and I enjoyed almost every characters in it, even the not so likable ones. Maybe unlikable was not the right word to describe them because they are just people with different biases and different baggages in their life. So maybe disagreeable is a way to describe their opinions. I feel like the whole book was talking about being different doesn't make people wrong, and it's a fact that goes either way. So to sum up, I really enjoyed the reading experiences, despite I got lost sometimes here and there. And I read this book with the Feminist Orchestra Book Club, and it's a good experience for me. And also, I think it's a good choice if you want to start with reading Jeanette Winterson. I definitely will read more of her books. So let me know if you have read the book, and I'm very interested in your thoughts about it. And happy reading! See you next time! Bye!